Hello and welcome to Hot Commodities Gold Monetization Special. I am Manisha Gupta and the headlines on this show are: Straight up, and the Prime Minister Modi unveils 4 gold-related schemes ahead of the festive season, all in a bid to reduce gold imports. Schemes include gold monetization and sovereign gold bonds, gold bullion scheme, and the PM also unveiled the first ever national gold coin to be minted in India. The Finance Minister Arun Jaitley says gold schemes will aid growth, also says that the high interest rate in gold bonds will boost investment. But the members of bullion industry feel that while the schemes may have been launched today, it will take a while for the participants to be confident as infrastructure hurdles still persist. The Prime Minister Modi today has unveiled 4 gold-related schemes ahead of the festive season, all in a bid to reduce gold imports. The schemes include the gold monetization and sovereign gold bonds as well. Not just that, the PM also unveiled the first ever national gold coin to be minted in India.
हम ऐसे गरीब देश हैं जिसके पास 20,000 टन सोना यूं ही पड़ा है और शायद हमारी गरीबी का कारण भी यही है कि 20,000 टन सोना पड़ा हुआ है और इसलिए भारत को गरीब रहने का कोई कारण नहीं है, कोई कारण नहीं है। अगर हम थोड़ी कोशिश करें, सही दिशा में कोशिश करें, तो हम पर जो ये टैग लगा है उस टैग से मुक्ति पा सकते हैं। और उस रास्ते का एक महत्वपूर्ण अहम कदम आज है ये गोल्ड संबंधित भिन्न भिन्न योजनाएं।
आपके लिए वो बचत हो, बचत के ऊपर आप थोड़ा कमा भी लें, उसका मूल्य भी बढ़ जाए और जब वो बैंकिंग सिस्टम के अंदर प्रवेश पड़ जाए तो देश के विकास के लिए उस बचत का प्रयोग हो जाए। बाहर से सोना आए इतनी बड़ी मात्रा में, उसको डिस्करेज करने की आवश्यकता है और इसलिए रॉ गोल्ड रखने की बजाय उसके स्थान पर गोल्ड बॉन्ड हो और गोल्ड बॉन्ड का बचत की दृष्टि से वही लाभ होगा, सुरक्षा की दृष्टि से वही लाभ होगा जो मूल सोने का है। जैसे ही इसकी डिमांड बढ़ेगी, इसकी सप्लाई भी गोल्ड कॉइन की भारत में जो बनेंगे उसको बढ़ाया जाएगा। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि इस देश की जनता इन तीनों योजनाओं का भरपूर लाभ लेगी, जिससे सोने की खपत जो देश में आता है गोल्ड बॉन्ड योजना की वजह से कम होगी। गोल्ड की जो सेविंग्स हैं वो देश के लिए काम भी आएंगी और जो उसके मालिक हैं उनको उससे थोड़ा ब्याज की दृष्टि से लाभ भी होगा।
Well, that really is the pitch coming in from the government then. It is saving in sense of gold and you can also put it in safety of government lockers and of course you can earn interest rate on that and the economy also stands to gain is the statement coming in from government. Let's discuss that more on what it means for you, how you can invest and how you stand to gain from that. I have with me Sanjeev Agarwal, who is CEO, Gitanjali Export Corporations. Somasundaram PR is MD, World Gold Council, India. We also have Professor Jayanth Varma, who is Head, India Gold Policy Center at IIMA. Keyur, Shah is CEO, Precious Metals at Muthoot Pappachan Group. We also are joined by Badrish, Kulhalli, who is Fund Manager, Fixed Income at HDFC Life. Gentlemen, hi, thank you so much for being with us. Sanjeev, let's start with you first. And the gold coin scheme, do you think that is one thing that will get an instant thumbs up, especially it being launched ahead of the festivities?
I think the sovereign gold coins are going to be a smashing hit because as per the newspaper coverage articles, they're talking about initially releasing about 50,000 coins. And 50,000 coins of 5 and 10 grams put together coming in during Diwali and Dhanteras will be a sellout within less than a week. So that will sell very, very fast. It is being priced quite comparatively. It's being priced below the price at which the banks were selling the gold coins. It is a sovereign gold coin being sold for the first time in the country ever with the Ashoka emblem on it. So I think that's going to be a sellout. The gold bond would be the second product, which is really an excellent product if you look at it from an investor's perspective, because for years now the financial advisors have been saying that as part of your portfolio you should hold about 10 to 15% of your savings in gold.
Well, absolutely, Sanjeev. The gold coin would be the first pickup, surely, because we do believe as Indians into physical buying of gold. But how would you look at the sovereign bond scheme? Because that looks like a very strong one as well. And most of the industry participants really seem to be betting on that one.
The question about the sovereign bond would be how many times will they keep the investment window open? I had expected it to be open-ended structure wherein they keep the window open till such time they collect a certain targeted amount. However, they've kept a period of less than 2 weeks of collection time, after which they will close and then maybe reopen the investment window once again. And why I'm saying if it's open-ended, it has the advantage that there'll be more people rushing in to invest when they see some element of correction in the gold prices. So in that context, an open window would have made better sense. But having said that, if the offer is open at reasonable frequent points of time, my expectation is in the region of about 20 tons or so, looking at the quantum of holdings in the gold ETF that is outstanding at this point of time within the country.
Fair point that. So I'm coming to you, as you know, Sanjeev was also pointing out that the sovereign bond scheme perhaps will work better than the gold monetization scheme. Of course, these are two very different products, but do you think that the bond scheme will fly faster?
I think all the three schemes, including the coin and the bond and the monetization, will be successful. The time frames are obviously different. The sovereign bond is something which has got a very specific period of opening and closure. So maybe that is what has made people think that it will be more successful than the monetization scheme. You're not going to look back in 15 days and talk about what is the monetization scheme doing. Monetization scheme, everybody understands, has got a lot of infrastructure matters that have been addressed and will continue to be addressed, which is of a very long-standing nature. Whereas the bond is about opening and closing, like any other financial instrument. So maybe that is what it is. But from our point of view, I think in monetization scheme and bonds and along with the coin will all be very, very successful.
So you also mentioned all the positive points there. The rate of return as well. I mean, initially, as we were talking, I remember the rate of return wasn't expected to be so good. But with 2.5 to 2.75%, would you say that perhaps fear also has been eased off?
Oh, it is certainly a very, very good incentive for the investors. And I think we should congratulate the agencies for coming out with this kind of a attractive return on gold. So I think looking at both of them, it also indicates the kind of intent people have. I think that it is very good for both the schemes.
Well, you know, for most of our viewers, just to repeat that, remember the gold paper scheme had come out in 2009 as well, wasn't successful at that point in time. And many of the experts had pointed out that this scheme perhaps is new wine in old bottle. Mr. Varma, getting you on the scene as well. I mean, do you see a lot of challenges really coming in? Because Turkey, of course, has been very successful and the Indian scheme really seems to be on the same sidelines. But this time around, would you say that the gold monetization scheme stands a better chance of participation?
Yeah, I think what the Turkish experience demonstrated was that in a country very similar to ours, it's an emerging market with a large population, a very significant cultural affinity for gold. In that kind of an economy, gold monetization was very successful. So that's the first learning, that people are willing to accept a gold deposit instead of physical gold. What we also learned from the Turkish experience was that the gold monetization can actually be an instrument of financial inclusion. What we were told was that for a number of Turkish women, the gold deposit was actually the first bank account that they ever had. So I think that was a very encouraging observation from there, that while there might be teething problems, this is something with a significant amount of potential.
Jayanth, while we have seen all the positives really for the gold monetization and the coin scheme, where do you see challenges coming in for this one going ahead?
I think the major challenges that we identified during the day-long workshop was that there would need to be a significant upgradation of the entire gold ecosystem. What we have is that we have the banking system which reaches out to the customer, but the banking system has to rely on other players in the gold value chain to handle the physical metal, because when the consumer comes and deposits jewelry, the jewelry quality has to be assayed. After that, it has to be melted and turned into a gold bar. Now, that whole process depends upon a variety of players in the gold ecosystem, and they will all need to strengthen and improve their capabilities to make this happen. To some extent, this is a chicken and egg problem, that some of the infrastructure does not exist because there is no demand for it. And the moment the demand arises due to gold monetization, the infrastructure will get supplied, because people will see an opportunity to have a profitable business, and it will happen. But this is definitely something that needs to happen for gold monetization to be successful.
Keyur, getting you in the conversation as well. I remember earlier talking on how the tax, of course, wouldn't be levied onto this one, but we have seen all the taxes, actually the capital gain tax and also the redemption tax, come in for the gold monetization schemes. Do you think this would be a deterrent, or because all the policies are long term, it wouldn't really matter?
I don't think so that's a deterrent, because those who measure gold, or the ones who invest in gold for profit booking, they probably would be looking into all this. But those who are investing in gold through this scheme for long term, I think they probably already know that they would be subject to short term or long term capital gain tax. Plus, I think one thing which I would note, that in today's ceremony, the PM speech, he specifically mentioned about housewives who accumulate over a period of time. Now, if that is the core constituency, I think, which the government has understood, and they are the ones who should be getting into these schemes of monetizing a sovereign gold bond scheme. I'm not too sure. See, most of 90% of those people are anyways either they pay taxes very honestly, or probably they've not yet registered themselves in terms of getting a PAN card. But if required, probably they would do so. So I'm not too sure if it's going to be deterrent. And also, you're looking at the taxes on the earnings, right? So currently, the gold was sitting idle, there's no earnings on it. Now, on that earning, there'll be some taxation. So net, obviously, they're going to earn something more.
All right, so that's one more fear really swayed off. So even the taxes are not a deterrent when it comes to buying into the gold monetization scheme, because it is all long term, and after 1 to 2 years, perhaps these taxes wouldn't even matter. But gentlemen, stay on with us. We will discuss more fine print on the gold monetization scheme and the sovereign bond after this very short break. Welcome back, and of course we have been discussing on the pros and cons of the gold monetization and the sovereign bond scheme, and whether or not it would immediately fly with the investors there. But Keyur, coming to you, would you say that the infrastructure at this point in time is ready? Because the PM himself today said that there are just about 100 centers for coin sales, and ahead of Dhanteras perhaps that's low. That's about the gold coins, but otherwise for gold monetization scheme as well, because you have to take your gold, get it tested, get it melted, purified and all of those things. Do you think India is standing tall when it comes to infrastructure?
Yeah, see, infrastructure wise, I think the sovereign gold bond and the gold coin, I think it's a matter of expansion. Currently, it only select banks or select post offices, which is where I would suggest the government should bring in gold loan NBFCs, because they are the face of gold for end consumers, as well as certain authorized jewelers. I think, but that's a matter of time. I think it will expand. Even the coins were supposed to be marketed by MMTC centers currently. I think gradually it will expand to other authorized players who will be allowed to sell. The gold monetizing scheme, that is where I see the challenge in terms of the collection centers. Currently, as you are aware, it's only the hallmarking centers, but they are B2B centers. They all have to transform them into B2C. Plus, again referring to PM Modi's speech, the trust factor with local jewelers, goldsmith or gold loan NBFCs is very high. Probably they also should be authorized to become collection centers. I think that is the big challenge, and that is what we have to see how it rolls out. And one more challenge in gold monetizing scheme is the gold monetizing scheme will be run by the bank. So the bank yet has to come up with the details and the commercials, which we yet don't know.
Well, yes, the banks are an important link here, and the infrastructure yet another hurdle coming in when it comes to this scheme. But Som, do you see gold buying now picking up in Dhanteras? What's your sense? What did we see last year, and what's your sense on numbers this time around?
You see, in gold, as we have said, no one form of gold or no one channel is a complete replacement or a substitution for another. Everything coexists because the demand is so big, and so it is not that Ashok Chakra coin means that other coins will not be sold at all. First of all, it's going to be available in select outlets. So I think what it will do is to improve the quality of other coins. So far we have seen a little bit of what I would say locally branded, which in a broader sense you always say unbranded coins being sold. Now that would drive people and jewelers to come together and probably look for good brands. So you would probably see more branded coins in the market, which people would love to hold. So that is what it would do, and improve the quality of the coins and improve the branding of the coins, pricing. All that will be the benefits that Ashok Chakra coin brings, apart from it being a priced asset.
All right, so there's a market for all, and yes, people may want to go for government accredited coins rather than anything else. But as Som is saying, that maybe there is market for everything. But Keyur, do you see equal participation coming in from rural India as well for these schemes? Because rural India, yes, will go for the gold coins, but do you see them coming in for the sovereign bonds? The whole idea that even the designated post offices will scheme it out or market it out as well.
Sovereign bond scheme, I think it would fly there because post offices are authorized to market it, and as you say, I think I see it in the going in the lines of Kisan Vikas Patra, which has become popular amongst all types of people, in be it rural or urban. In terms of gold monetizing scheme, again we'll have to look at, as I mentioned just a few minutes back, was collection centers. How well the collection centers are. I think how well the collection centers will spread into the rural areas, and also the confidence that the end consumer or the Indian citizen will have in giving those gold and getting it checked and deposit through these collection centers.
Badrish, getting you in the conversation, what's your sense on the gold monetization scheme, and what do you think? I mean, all our panelists have been suggesting on how the scheme can be made better. Even perhaps the government is ready to take it and improve it as they go ahead. How would you look at the long-term impact? What suggestions would you have here?
It's a very good scheme. Broadly, I would think the fact that giving an interest on gold will make it attractive for people who are buying gold for investment purposes. Now, there are largely two categories of people who buy gold for investment purposes. One set of people would be who are looking to diversify their investment portfolio away from equities and debt. They would have gold in the form of ETFs or possibly physical gold. Then second category is there of people who are buying gold for a future use, could be, example, kids' marriage or some event in future. Now, these two categories are holding gold. So, their gold, be it 10 grams or 20 grams, stays 10 grams or 20 grams down the line as well. All this demand for gold can shift the gold bond where, the 2.75% interest plus adds to the actual holding of gold. So, 10 grams of gold bought today or invested today becomes 12 grams or maybe 11.5 grams post-tax sometime down the line. And that is a very attractive scheme for all these investors of gold. The only segment which possibly may not be attracted is people who buy gold in the form of jewelry for usage or for purchase for as gifting schemes. So basically all the investment demand for gold can shift to gold bonds, and we still are to look at what is the kind of response we get to this scheme. And my view is it will be very positive.
Well, that's a very, very encouraging answer coming in. But Som, coming to you, and this is the final one on the panel right now. The gold buying in Dhanteras, what is your sense on that? The PM has really pushed the scheme ahead of the festivities, ahead of the gold buying season. He even said that more than the wedding season, the gold will be bought during Dhanteras. So what's your sense? What are the numbers that we are watching for right now?
Well, as I said, this is the first Dhanteras that we will have an Indian gold coin, the Ashok Chakra coin. which is minted in India, which is all the features that were presented by the Prime Minister. So this is an extremely attractive gift to receive and to give. So I think on the gold coin side, it's well timed. It's a fantastic product, as one saw that on the picture. So it's going to be of course it's going to be available in select outlets to begin with, but it's going to be a big hit. As far as the bond is concerned, it is open today, and I'm very sure that just like how gold ETFs are also bought on Dhanteras, people will buy the bond as well. As far the monetization scheme is concerned, it has got a few certainly the banks will open up very shortly with lots of purity verification centers, but that's something, as I said, we should never link it to milestones in the very short run, in the very short run. We should give it time, and we should look at mindset change and look at the collateral benefits. The more important thing is how many purity verification centers now up to the standard, how many have been approved by BIS. Those are of far greater significance than did they collect 2 tons. So that is very, very important. And that's what I would think are the parameters to look for than just the tonnage.
Point taken, Som. Not looking at the numbers and participation at this point in time. Those are massive 4 schemes launched by the government today. Thank you so much, Sanjeev, Som, Badrish, Jayanth, as well as Keyur for joining us and explaining the scheme for us, and of course the pros and cons for it. Of course, there are more positives than negatives that we have seen coming in out for that. Infrastructure and confidence coming in from people are a couple of things that perhaps you will have to give time for. But having said that, buying gold, holding, safety and security would be more when you have government coming out with those gold schemes. And of course, apart from that, you can earn on that, and it improves economy as well. So more things to purchase this Dhanteras and festivities. You have 4 more things: gold coins, gold monetization scheme, and sovereign bond gold. You of course can buy physical gold and gold ETFs as well. So you have more options then to go out and get the yellow fever going. But with that, completely out of time. Thank you so much for watching.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.